Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
Ahoy! Let's go! We're waking up Chicago. Turn up the radio. It's time to start the show. On Q101 with the morning crew. Ahoy! Let's go! Welcome to the morning show.
Let's go. How are we all feeling out there? Check in. 312-591-8300. Give us that proof of life. It's 603, 59 degrees, but it's going to be like 80 and sunny. Pretty awesome today again. First off, Ann checked in from Woodridge. Ann, I understand. Listen, and all the people of Woodridge, let's talk to you directly here. 8 o'clock is for Offspring. The chance to get in that Metro pop-up next Thursday with Q101 for free. Get the excitement. Got a couple hours. We have a lot in between there. We have a lot of stuff. You can hang out on this show, and you're going to really enjoy it, I think.
I hope so.
Would she try to lube you up? Why did you say that? What'd she say?
She had multiple texts about, I need to get in that Offspring show. You mentioned your wife. That was her second CD purchase, Smash. That would, Ann says in Woodridge that was her first CD purchased ever.
Wow.
Was Smash. Now, they're playing Smash in its entirety at Riot Fest the next day. So that's a week from Friday. Who knows what they're going to do for the Metro Thursday, but it doesn't matter. Ann, big fan. And I assume all the people of Woodridge, big fans of Offspring. I'm a big fan of Offspring. I can't wait.
It's going to be very, very fun. You have to win your way in.
Yes.
Please do not line up outside.
Yeah.
Disclaimer.
To be fair, people line up almost always at the Metro for everything.
This is
like
true.
when they're all sold out, they hang out by that
It's
alley.
a small doorway.
And then the alley on
Small.
the.
Why would they do that? They knew how many people could get inside.
And then the merch is after the security checkpoint, so you get your stamp, and then you're
I
like,
know.
"Oh, I'm actually gonna go to merch real quick," and it's tight in there. But then you get to the Metro, and everything's fine.
Yeah.
And they're the nicest people that work in the Metro.
Best staff in the world.
I mean, if you go in there and you're trying to get that merch, they don't go like, "Get back in the line, you're out of it. Get an order."
Spencer, their security guard, very nice guy. Went to college with him.
They only have one?
They've got a few.
Okay.
But I think he's like a big deal security guard there now.
He's running it?
He's all over the place. I see him.
Spence.
He's like, I lived across the hall from him in college, and now I see him whenever I go to the Metro.
That's nice. He can kick your ass, huh?
Oh, yes. He's a big guy. I'm a little bitch.
Did he stand outside his dorm door and say, "No one comes in, none shall pass"?
Yeah, what did he study?
I tried to go
ass
in.
whooping at Columbia?
Columbia College was pretty strict over there.
They have like a sword fighting class you can take.
What?
Yeah.
Is it like a Lord of the Rings class?
Kind of, yeah.
Oh my God, I
Because
love Lord of the Rings.
They have a minor in stage combat, and then you take all of these different fighting courses on how to fight on camera.
That sounds like a football.
Stage combat?
Yeah.
You can minor in stage combat, yeah.
Why don't you just minor in combat so you could use it off the stage? I wouldn't want to only use it there.
I think that's why you have a UFC gym membership, is to major in combat at that point.
Well, it's like, you might as well.
Sounds like a football player
Listen, I can
class.
fight you, but we have to find a stage.
It sounds like a football player class, but it's for, like kind of Kenzie said, like Lord of the Rings dorks. It's a lot of kids running around with swords in a theater building.
I feel like Lord of the Rings kids, we've just gotten a bad rap, and I don't appreciate that because it was cool at first, and you're forgetting that because it was like Games of Thronesy where everyone liked it, and it was just like badass, and now all of a sudden it's like, oh, so everyone's scared of a ring, and it's like, that's not fair.
I was a Lord of the Rings dork.
Were you?
Yeah, I was.
Then why'd you make all of those sounds and phases?
It did sound like you were putting down Lord of the Rings.
I know.
Well, because Kenzie took that side, so I want to go against her on it.
You don't have to argue with me on everything.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Time for a fact that makes your brain go. So this is a good news, bad news situation.
Okay.
You ready for this?
Yes.
It's become a very big flex, I don't know, in my circles, maybe yours, that people talk about how many steps they take. You know, I got 12,000 steps yesterday.
I can't believe how many people check their steps on a regular basis.
I don't check on a regular, but I do check once in a while. Like I'd say once a week, I'll go through my health meter thing. I don't have an Apple Watch.
Yeah.
And I don't want that much. I don't want that much going on. But some people have a Fitbit, Apple Watch. But I just go to my phone because the phone has it too in the health app, how many steps you took. So I just do it there. But it becomes a huge thing of like, yeah, I was out late, but I got 28,000 steps the next day. Oh, okay. So you're good then. I guess it just becomes a big flex these days, at least in people around me. I don't know if anybody around you does that.
I know that my mom gets mad. She's not understanding the concept. She doesn't have an Apple Watch either. Of like, your phone really needs to be on you.
Yes.
So she doesn't have her phone on her a lot. And when she was visiting, like 2 weeks ago, she took the baby on a walk in the stroller. Well, she put the phone in a stroller pocket. And she's like, I went on like a 4-mile walk. What do you mean I had 12 steps? I'm like, well, you weren't holding your phone. Like, it has to be on you, lady. Like, she's not getting it. She'll like leave it at home and be like, I got so many steps. What is it talking about?
Ms. Lady.
Like, good Lord.
And then your mom probably felt like she didn't get any exercise because it's not tracked on the phone when really she walked the 4 miles. It's fine.
I'm like, it's fine.
Yeah.
But like, also put it in a pocket or something.
Yeah. I've had that kind of FOMO on the steps I didn't get by leaving the phone in the stroller thing on there. I don't know, Case, do you care about your steps?
I do. Because
Okay.
I like when I hit 10,000 a day, but it is the most meaningless flex there is.
It's a big flex these days.
There's no comeback when somebody tells you, oh man, I took 17,000 steps yesterday. What are you supposed to say to that?
Yeah. I got 18 once in 2023, I remember. Oh,
18,000 or 18 steps?
18,000.
Oh, okay.
I'm being a rebuttal of someone saying that.
That's the thing. Unless you can one-up the flex, then there's no comeback to it. Oh, cool. You walked a lot. Awesome. You showed me.
I have a friend that opens his phone up to show me his steps. I'm like, I believe you. I'm not challenging you.
You should start challenging them.
So here's the thing. For people that care about their steps, which I think is really almost everybody out there, we have good news and bad news coming up with the steps and you tracking them like Kenzie's mom there. Probably good news for Kenzie's mom coming up. But we'll have that in 5 minutes.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
Well, it is time for a fact that makes your brain go. That we do every day here at 6:30, by the way. If you're new to the show, every day at this time, we give you a fact that blows your mind. And I really work on these and try to make them educational sometimes. Sometimes they're just wild. Sometimes they're like this one, which is this actually turns out to be a good news, bad news, good news. So I'll do the first good news here. We're talking about steps and 10,000 steps. Kay says he likes to try to get 10,000 a day. And Kenzie, I imagine, well, all of us do. All of us want to get 10,000 steps a day because it became this marker. It's also a flex that your friends probably go like, check it out, 18,000 steps today. Look at that. And I'd like to lift some weights to kind of know I did something really. Like, that's how I feel like working out is, not just steps.
When's the last time you did that?
Oh, my God.
Can I guess?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think the last time you lifted weights is when you lifted them into the house because you bought them. Which I've had to hear that story a bunch of times.
And do you remember that whole story? Because it's even worse.
Because you had to walk them up the flight of stairs. Yes.
Because I live on a second floor, really 3 levels of steps. I didn't even carry most of them. My friend James was in town, and he carried most of them up for me.
Could you imagine visiting your friend and that's when he buys a weight set? Like, you're such a jerk.
Well, I had the set. I bought it at Costco, and it was still in the box in the back of the car, and he was with me for a couple days here, and he goes like, why don't we get these up out of your car for you? And he started to just pick the box up, threw it over his shoulder. He's a big dude, and he carried them up for me, and then I had the last, the 10-pound weights that were left.
Yeah.
And then
that's what I think when you purchased them and brought them.
It's pretty accurate. It's pretty accurate.
And your wife uses them a lot, right?
Every day.
Yep.
Well, look at her.
Oh, she looks awesome.
Yeah.
Hey,
we know.
hey. Hey, I mean, thank you. It's actually nice.
My man.
Hey, I like that when people say that.
Yeah.
So here's the good news part. It's good news, bad news, good news. The good news is walking 10,000 steps a day actually does. It linked to less dementia, less cardiovascular disease overall, less heart disease, less heart failure, fewer strokes. It can reduce 13 types of cancer and lowers your risk of dementia by 50%. So that's all good news, because there's been a lot of studies lately saying it doesn't mean crap. And this is a pretty accurate study from the University of Kansas Medical Center. It does actually can be a magic pill, just getting 10,000 steps a day. Move around. Move around.
Yeah, move it or lose it, baby.
That's right.
For real.
I've seen some alternate studies just trying to be contrarian on it, saying it's not that big a deal, but 10,000 steps is a big deal. Here's the bad news, okay? And it's part of the fact. Everything you have and you spent money on, your Apple Watch, your Fitbit, and even your iPhone, if you know it's tracking you, they're not that accurate on the 10,000 steps.
Yeah.
It's just not. Like you said, your mom put it in the stroller. Now, it wasn't in her foot, so it wasn't moving her leg to count them. But overall,
I
even
don't know
using
anybody
them.
who puts it in their foot.
So, did I say foot?
You did.
I meant leg.
I've never seen anyone do that.
Yeah. So there can be actually a 12% swing, meaning if you think you got 10,000 steps, it could be 9,000 steps.
So you should technically always overshoot. Like you should really be aiming for 11 to 12,000 a day on your app just to be more accurate, just in case.
Because I'm not sure 9,000 is going to kill you. 10,000, you're still getting 9,000.
Boom. Look at it. Failure. Dead,
I only
in
could
the
have walked.
ground.
If I only could have walked a little bit longer to 7-Eleven. Just right there, I would have been fine. Here's the good news, though. Typically, it's inaccurate on the low end, meaning you walked more steps than you thought than 10,000.
Oh.
So you may have walked 11,000 when it says 10,000. So typically, it's better. That's the good news.
Why? Just because you don't always have your phone on you and stuff? Like
It's
my
ju-
mom?
It's just the way those things work. They're not that accurate as they think. I mean, I guess 1,000 steps off is pretty accurate still. But they're saying, but people that are like those crazy workout people, CrossFit, they want to know exactly every step.
Do you remember when you could get a step counter in your McDonald's meal?
Yes.
I don't.
Thank you. Because I don't know why that's such a core memory for me. I think it's when they started serving salads. And you could get a step counter with your salad. It was like an adult unhappy meal.
That was a black. That was if I remember when you looked that up, it's Black Monday. They called that.
It was just tough. You know, you have a happy meal your whole life, then you look in the mirror and it's like it's time for change, baby.
It was a day that will live in infamy.
You have to trade out the toy to get a step counter. The worst adulthood ever.
Now wait a minute.
But
How,
yeah, they
how did it
started-
work?
Yeah, you don't remember step counters where you used to clip them to your waistband? They were probably more accurate because they were clips to you, to be honest.
And it automatically counted your steps.
And it would count. That's all it did. Is it only counted steps? People bought step counters in general. Like these were the McDonald's ones that came with your salad. But you could buy a step counter and you would clip it to like your waistband, and people would wear them the whole day. And that's how you used to count steps, because before the phone did it, it's for like Apple Watches and Fitbits and all that.
Yeah.
And you don't remember purchasing step counters? People having them clipped to their little waistband. Like I remember seeing like my mom with her fancy work pants, little step counter clipped to it. You don't remember that?
Me and your mom have a different mentality of working out.
Kenzie, here's the problem. Brian never got a salad from McDonald's.
Correct.
He missed out on all of that.
But it was a really big promo.
Trust me, I remember you would order the saltiest salad in the world at McDonald's.
Like fried chicken in it. They cut up a McChicken and put it in there.
That's my mentality. If you're gonna go eat healthy, I'm gonna go to Jewel and buy some crisp, clean, fresh lettuce and make a salad at home. If I'm going to McDonald's, I'm getting a double quarter pounder with cheese meal, large size with Coke, and a side of buffalo sauce to dunk the burger in.
Does that sound like a song?
It does.
Brian and Kenzie.
On Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. And before we move forward, have all the fun. And we're going to have some fun here because we're honoring a great man here, but it's time to pour one out. This one hits deep with everybody listening. I know that. James Earl Jones passed away yesterday, and what a life. He lived to 93 years old. So it's not, it's a sad, everything's sad. It doesn't matter when someone passes that you loved and did something great and memorable in your life, but still, 93, man, you got to say, hey, that's a run, man. That's a run. And James Earl Jones, you may remember from a lot of things. We're going to play some audio here. He was the voice of Darth Vader in the Star Wars movies. If that comes up first, I mean, that's what really put him on the map as an actor, even though he wasn't seen. He was chosen by, and we'll get to some of the other movies and stuff too in a second here, because he was in Field of Dreams. He was in The Hunt for Red October.
Coming to America.
He was Jaffe, what was the name of King Jaffe Joffer. That's what it was.
Tip of my tongue.
King Jaffe Joffer. He was Eddie Murphy's dad in Coming to America. He was Terrence Mann in Field of Dreams, which Kevin Costner put a tweet out yesterday saying the movie would not even have been close to been memorable if he wasn't in that movie.
He's such a badass. He's always such a badass.
Oh, and then Mark Hamill, who was Luke Skywalker, of course, Star Wars movies, just put out, this got me yesterday. I actually almost had a little tear well up. He said, #RipDad.
Aww.
Mark Hamill, because Kenzie is not a big Star Wars fan. The voice of Darth Vader, that was...
This confuses me. Did they ever show Darth Vader's face?
So they did. It was not James Earl Jones. So he was only the voice of Darth Vader. He was not in the costume.
Oh, I was gonna say like, because his kid was white. Like nobody thought about that. Like they showed his face. I don't know. I found that confusing because I didn't even realize. I haven't watched the movies. I didn't realize. And like the mask was almost like a Bane mask, where like I don't even know if you needed his voice because didn't they disguise it anyways? Wasn't it kind of staticky or something?
It had a little resonation to it, but it was James Earl Jones'
You could
voice.
tell? Okay.
It was him.
So I haven't seen it, so that's why I'm asking. And I was just like kind of confused when you guys were talking about that. Like, I mean, Mufasa. Till I die, baby. And like Lion King, okay, I know that.
Also, you got to believe, to Kenzie's point, the stormtroopers would have never allowed a mixed marriage, probably.
That's true.
So I have a black dad and a white mom.
I don't know the concept of the movie.
I didn't think we were going to get off this path.
That's horrible.
Well, they're mean. So they never show racism, but they're mean.
Okay.
So you might want to assume they can make that leap.
Let's just say they weren't big fans of Lando in the Star Wars series.
Which is...
the one black guy in Star Wars.
Well, wasn't Samuel L. Jackson in Star Wars?
He was. That's true. He was later.
He's later. That's not
It was
Lando.
actually earlier, technically.
Technically
Oh my
earlier.
God.
No. Okay. I didn't think we'd get off this Star Wars. This is going to take 10 minutes to explain it. So far we come off at 6:45 that the stormtroopers were racist.
I can't believe that's horrible.
Okay, let's focus on James Earl Jones. So James Earl Jones was the voice of Darth Vader, but many people like Kenzie didn't know, she's not a Star Wars person, that he wasn't in the outfit. It was a 6'6" English actor named David Prowse who actually passed away, I think, last year, sadly, and he voiced the lines in Star Wars. So, Kenzie, you do know the voice that he did in Darth Vader, at least a little bit. You've seen clips or
I've
commercials.
Seen the Luke, I am your father.
Correct.
And
So that
Kenzie,
wasn't James Earl Jones?
No, that was.
That was James Earl Jones.
Who's this?
Okay. This person is the person that was in the costume in the movie.
He's in the costume, but he didn't talk.
But in the original part of filming it, he talked because...
So he used to talk, and he's in the costume.
But no one's heard him talk as the guy in the costume because by the time the movie came out, James Earl Jones' voice was over that.
So they revoiced him.
They revoiced it.
Okay.
So here's what the voice would have sounded like.
How come everything about this movie is so difficult?
Okay, for example, let me see here. The clip from Darth Vader. This is Darth Vader, obviously, you know. Whoops, I'm sorry.
That's it?
No,
That's Sesame Street.
That was Sesame Street.
Why is Sesame Street on your computer?
Because with YouTube, I play videos for Harper at home, and sometimes I just played the Boys to Men there, or pour one out music.
Work. Why is Sesame Street up there now?
It just continued over after Boys to Men for some reason. Okay, so this is Darth.
I was going to say, I didn't picture that being the thing he did.
Yeah.
No wonder they revoiced him. Not scary.
Okay, so Kenzie and everybody out there who doesn't watch Star Wars, this is Darth Vader. This is what he sounded like.
You are part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor. Take it away.
Now this is what.
See, I can hear his voice in there.
That's James Earl Jones.
Yeah, I get
Here's
it.
what the guy that was in the mask and the costume. Here's what he sounded like when he said that line.
You are part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor. Take her away.
What did he say?
He says, you are part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor. Take her away. So Princess Leia. So he says that here
Well,
again.
I had to change it because
You are part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor. Take her away.
And then when James Earl Jones came in, he did this.
You are part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor. Take it away.
Oh, yeah, no, it's more convincing. Maybe the stormtroopers were like, I don't know. What did he say? I think he's mad, though.
This English villain, I can't take it. I don't understand what he's saying. What do you want me to do?
You are part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor. Take her away.
I mean, like, Hugh Grant's never been scary, you know? This is delightful.
It sounds like Monty Python. It is this is ridiculous.
Well, it's such a delightful sound, that accent. Like, I can't take it, like, scary.
Yeah.
I'm like, you seem fun.
They're like, take her away. Yeah, right. And that was a good one. Now, here's the famous scene you're talking about, the greatest scene in movie history of a plot twist.
I killed Mufasa.
No.
One never told you what happened to your father.
He told me enough. He told me you killed him.
No. I am your father.
Whoa!
No. It's not true. That's impossible.
That's kind of funny.
I love Mark Hamill because he sounds like a surfer guy. That's That's impossible.
Could have been in Point Break.
Oh, God.
Who's his mom? Did he ever meet her?
Darth Vader's mom, yes. And
No, not Darth Vader's mom. Like,
Luke-
do we know who Darth Vader used to date?
Yes, we do.
Oh, who was it?
I don't want to get on that
Is
side
she
thing.
in it?
She's in the other.
Did anybody question her? Like, why are you hooking up with this guy? This seems like a bad dude.
He started out good.
Yes. Oh my God. Brian, I now have so much empathy for you because, every Friday at 8 I review a movie I've never seen before because I've never seen any movies, but I've seen Star Wars. If this is what it's like talking movies with me, oh my God, do I feel bad?
I'm sorry. Star Wars is kind of a lot to unpack. The whole thing's backwards.
I understand.
The costumes aren't even the actors. F off. You don't know who their parents are.
Listen, it's been out 50 years.
I guess are racist? I don't understand. Is that what it's about? Is it like a civil war?
Yeah, it's a civil war.
Case. This is exactly what it's like when you do a movie, and I'm trying to explain
I'm sorry, man. I had no idea.
This is why I started the whole thing. You're watching movies. Now you understand.
Thank God.
Let's finish with this.
I've seen Spaceballs.
That's very good.
Is that helpful?
How'd you see that before Star Wars?
This is funny.
But you didn't understand what was going on.
How do you understand any of the jokes?
18 of them, and they were backwards. I wouldn't have watched it.
Oh, God. Listen, James Earl Jones, 93, passed away. And this is one of the funniest things. He was on David Letterman. And it's a top 10 list where he did the top 10 things that sound, I forgot what it was, Case. Sound
cool when James Earl Jones does it because he has, outside of Morgan Freeman, he probably has the most iconic voice of all time.
So here it is. Here we go.
Top 10 things that sound cool when spoken by James Earl Jones. Here we go, number 10.
James Earl Jones is right there.
I can't believe it's not butter.
Number 9.
Objects in mirror may be closer than they appear.
Number 8.
J-Lo in the house.
J-Lo in the house.
Yeah, that sounded cool.
Number 7.
Click here now for the hottest sex sites on the web.
Number 6.
And the Academy Award for Best Picture goes to Dude, Where's My Car?
I like that. Number 5.
You're not fully clean until you're zestfully clean.
Number 4.
You mean I get all these great funk classics on just one CD or cassette?
Number 3.
Number 3.
Well, now, wait a minute. That makes no sense at all. The number 2 cool thing when spoken by James Earl Jones.
Meow, 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 meow.
And the number 1 thing that sounds cool when spoken by James Earl Jones.
What's up?
Oh, my God.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.